bit too booby for me. Kind of a fail, and shame on me. It's really ugly. Hi everyone. Welcome to my new craft room. As you can see, I haven't unpacked any of my yarn yet. We're still kind of like in the process of moving everything, so full transparency. This is what I'm currently looking at. So yeah, all of that needs to get put away, but that will hopefully be in the next video. So if you're interested in like yarn organization, I got a big one coming for you. But today I am going to go over all of my makes in 2024. I wrote them all out. There's quite a few, so I'm not gonna blab on, I'm just gonna get right into them. And we're gonna go in chronological order. Some of these things I don't have the physical item with me. They were either gifted or given away or whatever. For those, I will just insert a picture and talk about it a little bit. But starting off in January, this is something that I started in 2023, finished in January 2024. That is the Calad shirt by Just Roots Knots. This was a gift for my sister-in-law for Christmas of 2023, and yeah, this was actually the first time that I followed a written pattern, and I was really proud of myself when I finished this one. I think it turned out actually really great, and I've always said I wanted to make another one for myself. I have not gotten around to that yet, but mark my words, one day. Yeah, that was a really fun project, great way to start the year. Next up, I made this groovy flower granny square bag. I love this bag. I think it turned out great. I definitely would make more. And this granny square pattern is awesome because there's no holes, so it's like perfect for bags. I worked on this one on a ski trip with my friends and it kept me very occupied. I also used a thermal stitch for the strap, so it's super durable. Holds a lot of stuff. Right now it's currently holding all of my like whips slash like finished objects that I kind of want to like turn into something else, so definitely useful. But yeah, I want to make another project bag in 2025 for sure. Next up is my hexagon cardigan. I definitely learned some things with this. I still wear it, like I do like it, but there's just definitely things I learned. I think I use a Karen cotton cake and it took me a really long time because I ended up making the armhole like huge, which again, I kind of like that, but then I don't think I extended the arm quite enough. So the arms are a little short, but like still wearable, and I don't like long, like super long sleeves, so I prefer them to be shorter. And then I don't know why, I might go back and add it because I still have some of this yarn left, but I didn't put a ribbing on the front of it. So that's definitely something I would consider adding. And another thing is the ribbing on the bottom. I should have like been skipping stitches to like kind of cinch it in, but I didn't. So I don't really love how the ribbing on the bottom is either. But like I said, I still wear it, so that's a win. All right, next up, while I was on vacation in Mexico, I made this little dancing bear. This was my first tapestry crochet that I ever did. And yeah, considering it was my first, it could have come out worse, but just a cute little dude, you know, pretty simple. I only had a few colors with me, so not really much to say about that. I think I found a graph on Pinterest and used that. Here's what the back looks like. My backs have definitely gotten better, so that's that. Oh, I totally forgot to mention. So the hexagon cardigan and this tapestry were both in February. We're still in February, so next up, I made this double-sided frog tapestry. This is an alpha pattern I found on Pinterest for the skeleton. I made this first, and then I couldn't show you what the back looks like because I actually made a backside. This is my first graph I ever designed. Pretty simple, little tree frog, but yeah, this is a reversible tapestry and one of many that I made. Okay, next up is another item I don't have with me. It is a Final Fantasy tapestry. So one side is the white mage from the original Final Fantasy, and then the reverse side is the black mage from Final Fantasy, and I gave this one to my brother. Not much to say about that. Next up is another finished object I don't have with me. It was this little drawstring bag that I freehanded in Mexico with some of the yarn that I brought with me for my mom because she was going on the beach and collecting seashells for her pottery to like make textures, and I just crocheted her a little bag to collect her seashells in, so she still uses that and takes it with her to pottery, so don't have that one with me. Now we are moving on to March. In March, I spent the entire month crocheting this cat couch. I have it, but I'm not gonna like pick it up and show it to you. This cat couch took me the entire month of March, and I am so proud of it. I actually ended up using plyboard for the bottom and then added a felting to the bottom so that it's like kind of sturdier on the bottom. And I made it in blues and yellows because I read that cats can only see specific colors, including blues and yellows, so that's why I made it those colors. And my cats actually use it. I was so scared that they weren't going to use it. At our old place, we were keeping it in our bedroom, and 2 of our cats always snuggle on the bed, but then the other one would always sleep on the cat couch at night next to us. And yeah, it's really sweet that they actually use it and they love it. But yeah, that was a huge project, definitely like the biggest project that I've made, and took me the entire month of March, but yeah, definitely worth it. All right, next up in April, the first thing I finished was this little roly-poly. This is from Tom Ann Art, and it's so cute. It curls up into a little ball like this, and I made it in this like purple blue color scheme. This was like my first sew pattern for amigurumi. There's a lot of firsts this year for me. Yeah, I didn't have safety eyes. I wasn't using safety eyes for like a big chunk of 2024, so these are just embroidered. You can see they're like not great, and the sewing is like not super great. This is kind of like me getting the hang of it, but you know, things could have been placed a little better, but overall I think that this is just a little adorable little dude, and yeah, I'm very pleased. Yeah, pattern by Tom Ann Art, highly recommend, very easy to follow. All right, next up, I made this halter top to go see fish at Alpine Valley this year, and I was so proud of myself with this one. This is me freehanding it and combining tapestry crochet with a wearable, so this is kind of like where I found my confidence in being able to freehand things. So yeah, the graph itself is like pretty good. You can definitely tell what it is if you're a fan. For others, you might be like, what the heck is that? The only thing is I made the mistake of I started with the graph and then wanted to extend the bottom, and I ended up doing like a double row. I don't know how to explain that. So like, you know, your first row is going like this, and so I should have started extending the bottom going this way, but I think I started extending the bottom going this way, so there's like a line like that you can see. So that was like the one thing I didn't really love, but other than that, I love the yarn I used. I think that this was Kaboo, and then this was like Big Twist Cotton, the rainbow, and the strap was good. It was really cute for the concert. It did stretch out a little bit, so you can see I tightened it as much as I can. So this is a common theme for me where I'm like scared that the crochet pieces are gonna be too small, so I make them slightly too big and then they stretch out. So that's something that hopefully I will learn my lesson for in 2025. Overall, very pleased with it. We'll definitely wear again my next fish show. All right, moving on to May. The first thing that I made in May, and actually my first YouTube video, was this onion shirt. This was me trying to redeem myself with the fish shirt and learning my lesson on kind of like the composition and how to make it. Definitely learned some things with this one too. I like how the neckline turned out, but I think I could have done it a little bit differently, and I think that I will wear this in the future to like maybe like a festival or something, but for everyday wear, it's just a little bit too booby for me. I still think it's really cute, and I think I did a really great job. This is the first time I also tried surface crochet, so I did surface crochet for like the outline of the onion. Yeah, pretty pleased with how it turned out. This is what this inside of it looks like. If I like made this again, I'm not sure I would have done yellow. I got a little impulsive at the local yarn store. I just like ended up wanting to buy something from there, so I went with yellow because that was kind of the only thing they had in the weight and fiber that I wanted. So yep. All right, next up, I made some flowers for Mother's Day. I ended up making 2 sets of flowers that had yellow roses, lavender, and these dark purple freesia flowers. And I made a set for my mother and my mother-in-law, and they both really love them, so I don't have those with me because they're with my mother's. But yeah, first time making flowers. Next up in May, I made a tapestry for my best friend who got married, and it was just based on a picture of her and her husband at a lake, but very cute. If I were to do this one again, I think I would have just picked different colors. I'm not in love with the colors I picked out, but I was still kind of learning. I don't know, it's hard with tapestry because you are kind of limited by the colors you can find and the colors you have. Yeah, I ended up using like a Karen Simply Soft, and you could tell it was like a different weight and a different texture than the other acrylics I was using. So definitely learned from that. She really loved it, so. Also in May, I started out with this little chubby frog. This is a free pattern by Tinkering Crochet. I made this on a road trip, and then I made one in every other color. Don't have the purple one with me because I gifted it. Made 6 frogs. And then the last thing that I finished in May was this cardigan I made using the Lion Brand Mandala yarn in the colorway Groot that I doubled up. Yep, I really like this cardigan. I wear it. Again, I didn't do ribbing here, which I don't hate for this one, but I don't know why I haven't been doing the ribbing in the front. Here's what the back looks like. Yeah, not much to say about that. I freehanded that one. All right, moving on to June. I finished a lot of things in June. So first up is this blue whale tapestry that I made. This, once again, is double-sided with the skeleton on the back. I designed both these graphs and I love this one. This one might be my favorite tapestry I've made to date. I just think it's awesome and yeah, really big fan. Next up, I made this tardigrade. Apologize for all of the cat hair on all of these projects, but this is a tardigrade. This is a pattern from Tum Ann Art. This was super fun to make. I really had a great time making this with all the wrinkles, and I don't know, it deepened my understanding of amigurumi and how to make different shapes. And yeah, I think that this one came out really cute. Once again, sewing was not, I definitely improved on sewing as the year went on, but overall very cute. One of my favorite animals, so. All right, next up is this tapestry I made for Pride Month. It says, "Turn the frickin' frogs gay," and just like a little graph I designed with some kissing frogs and their rainbow. And I did this like rainbow bubble stitch going all the way around, which took me forever to weave in the ends. This is what the back looks like, very satisfying, and yeah, I love this one. All right, next up, I have the Stegosaurus tapestry that I made. This is my favorite dinosaur, and once again it is double-sided with the skeleton on the back. Once again, I designed both these graphs and I think it turned out really great. The only thing is I maybe would have picked some different colors for the shadows on this one because they're so dark, or picked a different background. I'm not really sure. I really like the black with the blue on this side though, but yeah, overall I think it turned out really great, and yeah, not much more to say about that. This is the Sal Miguel blouse by Shop Daisy and Dime. I love this blouse. I wear it pretty frequently whenever I get dressed up, I guess, but such a lovely pattern, such a lovely design. I definitely want to make it again in black with long flared sleeves. I think that that would be super cute for like autumn time. But yeah, love the color on this. This is Pima Cotton by We Are Knitters, I think. Yeah, just had a ton of fun making this blouse and I highly recommend it. Next up, I made 3 headbands, which I don't know where they are, but I will insert some pictures. Yeah, I made 3 headbands, made one for 4th of July, the only 4th of July thing I own, so that'll be my go-to 3 headbands. They're pretty cute. I made some Oregon tapestries. I don't remember the exact order, but I made this little uterus. These are all graphs by me, but this little uterus, I was gonna hang these up in my cubicle at work, but then I ended up switching where I work, so I didn't get around to finishing some of them. But yeah, I made this little uterus. She's angry. This one's probably my favorite. And then this one I never finished. I just have to block it and add a dowel and weave in the ends, but there are this set of lungs. And then I made this gallbladder. I love her. I love that it looks like the common bile duct is like a little ponytail. Very cute. And then I made a spleen. This one's also not blocked, but cute. And then the last thing I made in June was this hot dog tapestry that I made for my friend for her birthday. She loves a good glizzy. Once again, designed that graph. Very cute, not much to say, she loved it. All right, moving on to July. The first thing I made in July was the Hera top by Spirit and Thread Crochet. I really love this top, but once again, I made it slightly too big for me. So that's kind of a bummer, but I do think that if I just add some straps to keep it up, then it'll be fine. But yeah, very lovely pattern. It's made to measure, so like I just made it too big. All right, next up, I made 2 love cats. One of them I gave away to a friend, but here is the first one I made using some variegated Bernat blanket that I had. This is a pattern by Annie Caraway Art. I think that it won at the Yarny Awards, so everyone and their mother has made this pattern, but yeah, very cute for good reason. All right, next up, I made 2020 Chopper from One Piece. This is a pattern by Lanitas Del Rey. birthday, and I made this for my brother-in-law and he loves it. I decided at the last minute to make this pattern for him for his birthday and stayed up way too late making it, but it came out so great and I really love it, and I love all the little details that went into it, so definitely a super fun project. All right, next up was my first pattern test. This is a pattern by Layla Horgel. This is the Mimosa Bralette, and this was my first pattern test. I was so excited when I got picked to do this pattern test, and I really love how it came out. This was using the Lion Brand Cottony one, the Tom Daley collaboration, and I love the colors. I don't really wear this one that much because it's a little bit too revealing for me, but definitely super cute in the summer. This pattern was great. Love how it came out. Okay, last thing I made in July was this fish fanny pack. First time making a fanny pack, and I added a zipper and it doesn't look great, but it's functional and I used it and it held all my stuff, so that's awesome. And then to go along with that, I just freehanded some koozies, and I think I ended up making like 6 or 7 of them, but I gave a bunch of them away to random fans. And then this one was like for a tall can, and then these are for standard size cans, but I had one in like a dark blue too, but I gave those away. All right, moving on to August. The first thing that I crocheted in August was the manta ray tapestry. I have a whole video about this tapestry. This is a tapestry that I made for a friend. So one side is the manta ray and then the reverse is the manta ray skeleton. Don't have that one anymore, obviously she has it. I made a whole video documenting the process of making that if you are interested in watching that. Yeah, once again, designed the graph. Took me a long time. All right, and then for her birthday, same friend, I made this little manta ray pouch. This is a free YouTube pattern by Kuko Crochet. Yeah, really cute. Took me not very long and she loved it. All right, next up was another pattern test. This is the Green Monster inspired by Oogie Boogie from Nightmare Before Christmas, and this is a pattern by Katarina Crochets. This yarn actually glows in the dark, so that's really fun. I have a video about that as well. But yeah, super cute. I think he came out adorable and perfect for Halloween. Next up, we have kind of a fail. This is a sweater that I made for my partner that I just freehanded, and the composition of the sweater is great, but I used a really bulky yarn. This is the Wool Ease by Lion Brand, so it's just very, very heavy, but very, very warm at the same time. So maybe not totally a fail. We do live in Wisconsin, so it does get very cold, but I mean, he picked the yarn and I probably should have known better, but you live and you learn, you know? Next up, I made some things for our Scare All fundraising event for leukemia. I made like 7 ghosts, like 150 spiders using the pattern from Made with Jade. I have a whole video about that as well if you want to see that. But yeah, just made a whole bunch of little guys. I was gonna make more ghosts, but the spiders were way faster and I knew I needed a lot of them, so I ended up making a lot more spiders. I also made 2 of these pumpkins that I was gonna use too, but I only ended up making 2 of them, so I just decided to keep them for myself. All right, moving on. I made this lotus flower tapestry. This is inspired by my first ever tattoo, and it's a series that I want to continue on my channel, just crocheting all of my tattoos. So here's the first one. It's a lotus flower. Yeah, I think it came out pretty cute. This is my second attempt at a color palette, and I ended up really liking this one. Here's what the back looks like, kind of a hot mess. All right, I also made this, I call it a sunburst tapestry. I don't know, it's just a random doodle I did that I turned into a graph. Came out pretty cute. I like the colors. Speaking of sunburst, I'm just gonna put this in here because I made them, but I made a bunch of these sunburst granny squares in this variegated yarn. They all look really different, as you can tell. I made like, I don't know, 30 of those. All right, and then the last thing I made in August was this Hodag tapestry. This is another series that I would love to continue. It's just doing cryptids from different places. So I started with Wisconsin, which is the Hodag, which is kind of like the silliest cryptid because it was basically proven to be debunked, but still funny. There's an entire city in Wisconsin that memorializes this little guy, so I have a YouTube short about it if you want to watch that. But Hodag, I want to turn this into a sweater, so let me know if you think I should do that. But I think it would be really cute as a sweater. All right, moving on to September. I did a pattern test for Ty Bailey. It's this Monstera pillow. It's absolutely massive, and I do use this a lot. If you see in my videos, I frequently use this pillow, and it's just like a really good sized pillow. Yeah, great pattern. Highly recommend checking it out. Here's the back. I used Bernat blanket yarn, and yeah. All right, next up I made some Halloween tapestries. So first up I made this little boo sign. I think it's so cute, I don't know. And then I made these little kitten ghosts with the checkered background, and yeah, adorable. And then finally I made this massive dancing skeleton one and kind of like a trippy glitch effect with it. It looks wild on camera. But yeah, this one's pretty big, so that's pretty fun. All right, next up, I made this cute little penguin who is holding a little disc golfing disc. I made this for my partner. It was supposed to be like a patch to put onto his disc golf bag, but yeah, I don't know, it's just cute. This is my first time designing a cutout tapestry graph. So the Monstera pillow was actually my first time trying cutout tapestry, but this is the first time designing my own, and I think it's so cute. It looks just like my partner. And then I also made, a lot of these don't have the ends weaved in, shame on me. I also made this little Moodang tapestry. She's so cute. This was during the Moodang craze back in September, but yeah, really cute. I love the little like scalloped border on this one. Now we are moving on to October. All right, so the first thing I finished in October was this spiral sweater. This is using the tutorial by Hannah Drapinski, and I think it came out awesome. I think it looks really cool. So here's one side, and then here is the other side. Same but different. But yeah, very cool. The fit of this one is a little interesting, kind of boxy, but I don't hate it. I kind of wish it was a little bit more cropped, but that's okay. All right, next up I did a pattern test for Sweet Beans Crochet, aka Robin, and that is the little Shrek and Fiona pattern, or I forget what she ended up calling them, but yeah, they came out super cute. I think that they're absolutely adorable, and I think they'd make like really good keychains, but I think I'll just probably have them sitting on my shelf. Little lovebirds, no kith. All right, next up I did my glow-in-the-dark tapestries, my invisible tapestries that didn't end up actually being invisible, but they were all just like skeleton hands and different gestures. So the background does not glow, but then the design glows, and these are actually really cool for Halloween as well. This is the coolest one because the white blends in with the white, so you really can't see the design fully until the lights are off. So this one is a rock and roll. Yeah, those were cool, really fun to make. Next up, this one's kind of silly. I made this like pouch for my partner's disc bag. I don't know, it's just like a half circle little pouch. All right, next up is another pattern test. This is the Hot to Go by Spore Collective, and it's a little to-go bag, says Hot to Go, and I use this variegated yarn that I have no idea what it is, but it's awesome, and I wish I knew because I would definitely get more of it. But it was like a hand-me-down from my sister. And I also use glitter, white glittery yarn. But yeah, I love this one. I think that it turned out great and very fun. All right, next up I made a little hammerhead shark. This is a pattern by Daydreaming Maker, and I actually gifted it to my tattoo artist. So I don't have that one anymore, but they loved it, and it lives in their tattoo studio. All right, next up I made these Halloween bandanas. I have a tutorial for how to make these on my channel if you want to check that out, but this is one with little ghosts on it. I show you how to make the appliques and everything and how to sew them on, but yeah, this is the one with the ghosts. I wore this one for our Scare All event and it was really cute. And then here's another one. This one has skulls on it, so I really love this one too. And then I had another one that is purple with spiders, but my mom took that one, so I don't have that one. But yeah, I love these. All right, next up is another pattern test that I did. This is the Moorish Idol, which is like the fish that Gil is from Finding Nemo. And this is a pattern by Daydreaming Maker, who's the same one who did that hammerhead shark. I did a pattern test for them, and it's their little Moorish Idol, and very cute. It didn't take me very long at all. All right, and then finally in October, I made this mesh tank top that I gave to my coworker for an art trade, and in turn, I got this cool skunk terrarium thing that she crystallized, and it looks awesome. But the pattern that I used for the mesh tank top is by Shylar Crochets. It's a free YouTube video. I kind of like changed up the straps a little bit, but great pattern. Okay, now moving on to November. This was a huge pattern testing month for me. Very heavy pattern testing. Starting off, I made these Hello Speech Bubbles by Liz Arts and Crafts, and they turned out so cute. They're like little hangings, and the pattern actually has an option where you can customize it and have it say anything you want. I never got around to doing that, but mine just say hello, and this was for my Crocheting Everything Green video that I did, so as you can see, they're both green. I think these are so cute, and I definitely want to make more saying other things. Highly recommend. Okay, keeping on the pattern testing and the green theme, this is the Danger Tapestry by the Crochet Hoe. Very fun. Didn't weave in my ends. Here's the back, which looks good considering. But yeah, this one is super fun. Okay, next up we have this checker print cat ear beanie that I did for my Crocheting Everything Green. But yeah, very fun. Just a little checker print. Not much to say about that. Big fan. Okay, next up is another pattern test by Sweet Beans Crochet, and this is the little Kodama tree spirit. I actually ended up making 2 of these, but I gave the bigger one to a friend, and so I just have this one left. This is my first one, but yeah, little tree spirit. This is a free pattern on her Instagram, so you should go check that out. Okay, next up I made the Cheeky Shroom Boy. This is a pattern by Yarnaholic Sociopath, and he's supposed to have a little butt, but because I used acrylic yarn, it was kind of hard to make a butt, so he's just got a little pot belly and it is very cute, and I want to make this one in like every color. Okay, next up, yet another pattern test for Sweet Beans Crochet. This is Mochi the Capybara, another free pattern on her Instagram, and he's so cute. I love. This is also using Bernat Blanket, and this pattern is so fast to work up, so great for markets if that's your thing. Alright, another pattern test that I did for Fancy Turnip. This is Christina the Christmas Tree Cat. I changed the coloring just a little bit to have it look like my cat Lucy, and I think that it came out perfect for Christmas time. Lots of color work, lots of color changes, so if you've never done tapestry before, maybe not the easiest, but yeah, like I said, I think that this one came out amazing. Alright, this might be my favorite pattern I did this year. This is the Luna Moth Tapestry by Little Wolf Crochet. This was a pattern test that I finished up at the end of November, and just look at that. I did not do traditional coloring for a Luna Moth, but I am obsessed with the colors that I end up going with. I ended up starching the back with khaki glue mixed with water and just paint brushing it on. It didn't leave a residue, so if you're looking into starching your projects, I would recommend that. But yeah, I cannot wait to hang this one up. I think she is absolutely stunning and such a great pattern, very fun. I love how it got worked up, and just, it did such a great job on this pattern. All right, here is a pattern test that I did for Crochet Me Zaddy. This is the Little Wolf Buddy pattern. I used a glitter acrylic yarn. I also made the Little Fox Buddy, but I ended up giving that to my sister. But yeah, Little Wolf Buddy came out super cute. Very fun pattern, very fun pattern group, and yeah, had a great time. All right, and then the last pattern test for November was this little elf worm friend. This is a pattern by Scruffle Crochet. There is like a pipe cleaner inside, so you can kind of like change the position. Kind of. I love this guy, and I think he's just like so fun, and like he just looks so friendly. I love it. But you can make him in like a bunch of different colors and give them to all your friends and family. The last pattern test that I did for the month of November. All right, December, we made it. Let's go. First up, I did Kato the Dragon Snuggler. This is a pattern by Lemon Cat Crochet, and I tested out Zaddy Crafts' a really good chenille yarn. I love that yarn, honestly, it's really great. But Kato the Dragon came out adorable. I don't have her because she got donated. Lovely pattern, very fun, and had a great time making that and using that yarn. All right, next up, I made my first knit beanie. It's really ugly. I learned how to knit, and I made this really ugly beanie, and I'll never give it away because now I'll always know how ugly my first project was, and I love that for me. All right, I made a few more beanies. I made this, it's absolutely covered in lint, but I made this single crochet back loop only crochet beanie for my partner. Not much to say about it, except for that it's covered in lint. I also made a Captain America beanie. This is a pattern by Level Up Nerd Apparel. I made this for my nephew for Christmas. He loved it. I also made my niece a beanie. This was a cat ear beanie. I added on those eyes by Crow with the Flow and like a little face, and she loved that. I also made this little trans person figure cutout for a friend. And then I made the chill guy. This is a pattern by JFS Art. This was a gift for my brother-in-law and he thought it was hilarious, and yeah. The last thing I'm going to include is my second knit beanie, even though I technically finished it on the first, but finishing it was just like sewing it up, so I basically crocheted this in December. Knit this in December, but it's really ugly as well, as you can see, but definitely better than the first one. I actually kept the same stitch consistently throughout the whole thing. I just think it's ugly because of the colors I did. It's fine. My partner says he loves it, so. Oh my gosh, I think that's everything. I hope I didn't forget anything. Wow, having it all sitting in front of me, I like can't believe how much I actually made this year. And I've really slowed down in the past few weeks. I think partly because I was moving and everything, but I made so much stuff, and this isn't even all of it because I probably like 30% of this I don't even have. Really wild to like look back at the year in full. Anyways, that's gonna conclude this video. Thank you so much if you made it this far. Let me know what your favorite thing I made this year was, and let me know what your favorite thing you made this year was. Yeah, I can't wait to see what 2025 brings for you and for me and for us. If you want, you can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads at Viney_Maple, which is the same way it is here. I will see you over there, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!